Hi guys, and welcome to another edition of the BGN Aquariums Fish Club Live. This has just been a great congregation of people from all over the world that share their knowledge and their experience in different things. It's only been running for a couple of weeks, but up to now we've already had someone come on and share their knowledge about intensive fertilizing of plants. We've had some guy in talking about culturing his own white worms for feeding fish. We've also had a guy who breeds seahorses in. So for a club that's only been running for a couple of weeks, we're getting some really good experience and some good stories. So hope you enjoy your stay. Donny, evening buddy, how you doing? Yeah, mate, she did actually. Yeah, we went to a pub on the Sunday. I took her for a meal on Sunday, and we also went out Monday night as well. But yeah, we had a good evening, mate. To be honest, yeah. Thanks for asking. How are you, buddy? Okay. Juice Bertland, thank you for joining us to eat this evening. Hope you're well. Good evening, Sam. How's it going? I am armed with a coffee, guys, and we're just gonna have to watch for the light, really. That makes you look really red, doesn't it? So we're gonna have to watch for light, see how it goes. These tanks go off at 10 o'clock, so depending on how it goes, really. Good evening, Ian. How are you doing? Hoping for a nice evening. Just gonna have to see how it goes light-wise, really, more than anything. Sam, it's always a good day when you get new fish. So what fish have you got today, buddy? Yeah, cheers, Donny. It was a nice evening, actually. Where are you from, Donny? Are you from round Manchester way? Couple of Lake Tubus, nice. And 4 Rosy Barbs, nice, mate. Yeah, mate, we always like them rainbows going in, buddy. You could do with about 4 more of them rainbows, though, mate. They'll be way better when there's a few of them. They really colour up, and you'll notice the males, they get this like orange band that flashes when they're trying to attract the female. Pretty mad, mate. To be perfectly honest, it's pretty good to see. But you get that on a few rainbows, but like blue with this orange band flashing, it's really, really good. It's really good. Teesside, nice, nice. Yeah, mate. Yeah, it's always about that, mate, isn't it? To be honest, Sam. It's all about the size. But yeah, mate. Yeah, they're really good. I do like Lake Tubus. I do. If anyone doesn't know what we're on about, they're also known as the blue or turquoise rainbow fish. And they are gorgeous. They are gorgeous. Mine, mine are coming back now, but I went a bit thin for a time, so I did treat them with like a parasite thing, but they are coming back, so not quite sure. But yeah, they were coming back well, to be perfectly honest. I went to I found it really hard this weekend, so I went to a shop near me just to buy actually, I don't remember what I went in for. I went in actually to see if they sold sea chem iron and phosphorus. That's what I went in for. And they had some Australian rainbow fishing that were like 4 for 22 quid. And I was like, oh, God. I actually walked out without them, which hurts my soul. It's just been an expensive month. So, yeah, 4, oh man, they were gorgeous as well. And that's like in tank condition. So when you get them into an aquarium, it would have been nice to pick up, try and get 6 of them. It would have been awesome. Might go back at weekend, see if they've still got them. I don't think they will. Just sorting out my laptop. I know I will end up going, Sam. I will. To be honest, I should have got them. Really, kind of hurts my soul that I didn't get them, because they were stunning. They were really stunning. But my tank is pretty chocker, and they've still got a way to go as well. So might see if they'll swap them out for my angels. That'd be an idea, wouldn't it? See if they'd swap 5 angelfish for 8 Australian rainbows and put Australian rainbows in there. There's one. There's something to think about, isn't it? Without a doubt. So, does it sound all right tonight, guys? Yeah, I'm hoping so. I've been in work all day today, guys, so I'm a little bit tired, to be perfectly honest. So hopefully we get a few more people coming in soon. I have put it on Facebook and that, so hopefully we'll get a few people in. Has any of you watched my, I know Donnie has, my latest CO2 tank build? I'd see what they think. It's pretty decent. I will give a tour of my tanks later on, before the lights go out. I'm not sure how long we'll be out of stream for tonight, guys, because these sunset starts on these at 8 o'clock. So throughout the meet, you'll see them. They will dim down. So we'll just have to see. Don't want to be sat here in the dark. If it is dark, I'm gonna have to try and sort something out. Try and get some lighting in here. We'll have to see. So has anyone seen this about this guy I think it's in Stoke, I think it's in Stoke-on-Trent, which actually is not really that far away from where I am, really. Overnight, I think, what did he say? It was Monday night. I think it was Monday night at like 2:30 in the morning. 3 blokes have gone into his garden, like gone over the wall into his garden and taken 70 koi carp, all in buckets. 70 carp. What's that about? If you've got ponds and that, just make sure you don't go bragging about them for a start, innit? Because somewhere along the line, how have they know if it's in an enclosed garden? So how do they know that he had all these carp in there? So he's either like, I don't know, has he bragged about it? Does he know? Does it someone that knows him? Crazy one, isn't it? So if you have koi carp, just make sure you've got some kind of security. So like, my mum has koi carp, which does, but it is all cameraed up, and not for that reason, but thankfully it is. And I believe he was as well. He was actually on the radio today, this guy, and yeah, three lads went into his garden and took his koi. 70, about 15 grand's worth apparently. And you can't insure fish. So that's the thing. When he said that, to be honest, you can't insure fish. So if you've got marine fish that are like a few £100 and you can't insure them, that's a bit mad, isn't it? Or is there a way around insuring? I don't know. Maybe anyway, if anyone out there does know. You have a common pleco. How often can I feed him? I feed my Jennifer. Thanks for joining us tonight. I have 5 plecs in here, and I have a red fin thresher plec in the rainbow tank. So I kind of feed. I slightly overfeed the tank, so food gets down the bottom for the cories and the bottom feeders, and obviously the plecos will eat what I feed that, which is mainly nowadays is more like frozen food, defrosted all the time. And then, but 3 days a week, I will put like pleco wafers in, and algae wafers, or some cucumber or something like that. So do make sure they get fed, and always have a bit of wood in your tank as well, there, Jennifer, because they will like to graze on the wood as well. But yeah, definitely, I feed them. I feed my fish on a like a 4-day thing, really. So like 3 days I feed, and then I kind of fast them for a day, where I don't put anything in there. But I do, my plex I do feed wafers or whatever at least 3 times a week, mate. So, but if he's eating them, innit? But they do, just watch though, right? Plecos are quite dirty, aren't they? They do poop a lot. So just make sure you've got good filtration. I do like plex. I've got 5 in here, but I've only ever seen 3 of them since I put them in, so, which is a bit mad. His name's Hoover. Yeah, that's because that's all they do, mate, isn't it? That's all they do. What else have you got, Jennifer? Saying fish tips. Hello there. How you doing, buddy? Salient Aquatics. Hi, mate. How you doing? Good to see you. I know we've talked on YouTube. Hope you're well. Just got the red Tiger Lotus. Any advice on growing it? Hero Habana, how are we tonight? Yeah, buddy. So the Lotus Tiger Lily is awesome. Hence, you see that one there. They are nothing but a stunning plant, and they're dead easy, mate. So don't bury the bulb is the first thing when you're putting it in the tank. That needs to be on the surface. So if you've got what I did with mine, you know, the ceramic plant rings, I got 3 of those and kind of like wedged the bulb down a few, but you've got to be careful because cories are a blooming pain, aren't they? So you get like plex. I don't mind calling them plex now because I've got plex in me. I don't know. So your cories can kind of dislodge them. So I used 3 of those like ceramic plant weights, and that kept it down. And I kept them on it for about 6 weeks until it kind of rooted itself, and then you can remove them. Kind of looks a bit naff at first, but you've just got to wait till it roots, haven't you? And it just helps stop the cories uprooting it as well. And then it depends where you want to go with it, buddy. Where you want to go for it to be a surface plant, or you want it to be like that. If you want it to be like that, it'll start producing lilies at the bottom, and then every now and again it'll try and shoot a runner up to the surface. So you want to cut that off as near to the bulb as possible, and then it'll try and send off another. They kind of seem to come in like groups of 2, and then if you trim it off again, it should then try and form loads of lilies at the bottom to try and get as much like CO2 and nutrients as possible. Whereas if it sends a lily up to the top, it won't produce as many at the bottom because it's getting all its nutrients from the surface. So it'll send more up to the surface. You just got to watch. over time it'll start producing another bulb, and then that's up to you then whether you disconnect that bulb and move it to another plant, a tank, or sell it, or just keep it where it is. Because when you keep it where it is, you've got two bulbs producing lilies, so it gets even bushier, and then it, you know, then it's kind of, that's kind of not there yet. That's not there yet. That's just like one bulb at the moment. There is another bulb, but currently it is dormant. In the rainbow fish tank though, that is, it's cut right back because I cut it right back on Saturday. But I do a video on it, Hero. So yeah, go and check my video out, the Lotus Tiger Lily. It's like my most watched video, to be perfectly honest. So yeah, it's everything's kind of covered in there, mate, to be perfectly honest. Bobby Sutherland, thanks for joining us today. Thank you. Nice to see you. Love the Glasgow. All good, man. All good. JV, thank you for joining us this evening. Hi there. Can I ask how many gallons is the tank behind you? Okay, so this is a 300-litre tank. And from last time we did the live stream, I didn't know the gallons, but I believe it's 66 gallon now, mate. That's what I was reliably informed by everyone that was in the chat at the time. Yeah, it's 66 gallon, mate, 300-litre. It's 4 foot in length. This is, I've got a 240-litre, which is 4 foot in length as well. But to be perfectly honest, I do kind of prefer this because it's just got a little bit more depth on it, so you can do more on your scape. Whereas with the fluval, it's a fluval, don't know what, can't remember what it is. It's a fluval anyway. But yeah, it's just a little bit too thin to do it, you know, to get a decent escape. So if I ever redesign that, I'd probably take everything out of it and just do it fully plant, to be honest. Whereas this is more like this is actually a forest scape, because there's wood, there's like wooden trees all the way through that with root work and everything, but you don't really see it anymore because of the plants in there. Reese Roberts, thank you for joining us this evening. You have a yellow and black Pleco. I bet that's nice though, mate. I bet that's a stunner, isn't it? Salient, good, mate. Good, good. Yeah, I'm fine, buddy. Just been at work all day. It was like, you know what? Today where I've been working, it's been proper foggy. It's just been really stressful today. I drive for a living, so where I work, I won't say where, I won't say what area of the country I was working in, but they kind of don't believe in red lights. Let's put it that way. And when it's foggy, everyone just drives like crazy. It's been proper stressful. Minnows, one molly and loaches. Nice, Jennifer. Nice. That'd be nice. With your little, with your Pleco as well. All good. All good. Alif, thanks for joining us this evening, buddy. I'm all good, mate. Yeah, a bit tired. Been working all day, but yeah, I'm all good. All good. Got a coffee, so that should wake me up a little bit. Ask me if I will be tomorrow. My car goes in for its MOT tomorrow, so I might not be that good tomorrow. I'll have to live in hope. Cyan Fish Tips, I have a question for you. Please ask. Yeah, mate. When I get up to it, mate, I'll try and answer. 5 loaches, but they also hide. And no, Jennifer, honestly, I put so I've got like I say, I've got 5 plex in here. Got 2 Starlight, 1 Green Phantom, and then there's 2 Gold Nugget plex in there. The last time I saw them was December the 23rd, because I took a photograph of them. Obviously, it's date stamped. That's why I know it's December the 23rd. And I haven't seen them since. I can only hope that they're still alive, but there's never been like an mad ammonia spike that you'd expect from maybe 2 plex dying. I know there is caves, so I don't think they've died. I just don't think they've died. They just never come out. It's a bit crazy. You got yours without a bulb. I've never known it. I know, right, try planting it, mate, and see how it goes. I've never known them come without a bulb, because they are a bulb plant. But I do know mine has sent off a runner where a plant has grown from that. So try it, but I've never known them come without a bulb, mate, because they're known to be a bulb plant. Look into it, and just, it might be worth giving them a call and see what they say as well. Because yeah, that's a bit strange, that, but it is. If you Google it, mate, even to Google it, it'll tell you it's a bulb plant. It's like that lace leaf plant. I don't know what it's called. It might be called the lace leaf, actually. But yeah, that's the same. It's a bulb plant. Bit weird. Norwegian fish keeper, I do remember you, buddy. Thanks for joining us. Yeah. So yeah, I think, okay. So yeah, Maria, I think I never remember you, because right, you'll know what I'm on about if it was you. But was you my first, Maria? If that doesn't make any sense to you, then it won't be you who I'm thinking of. But Billie Eilish fan, thanks for joining us this evening. Best bottom dwellers for a cichlid tank. I take it you're on about like Malaria cichlids hour. I take it. I wouldn't, to be honest, mate. I wouldn't like to know. I've never had them. So I could find out though. The guy I work with's got like 2 8-foot tanks. But I would. So yeah, unless there's anybody in here at the moment that knows if there's any like best bottom dwellers for a cichlid tank. Like I say, mate, it's nothing. I've never had them before. But you never know. There might be somebody in the actually in the chat, buddy, that can help us out here. But I will, if we don't get an answer on it tonight, though, Cyan, I will ask a guy that I work with. Because, like I say, he's got 2 8-foot, and I think he's got more as well. So yeah, he's obviously got multi-tank syndrome as well. Remember to like and subscribe, everyone. Donnie, I'm going to do this, mate. Just one sec. If you don't want it, mate, just say so and I'll take it off, buddy. Hopefully that's come through to you anyway. Yeah, I've watched it. It's great. Thanks, Hero. It is. It's a good video. It is a good video. It is getting watched. Jennifer, you have an African frog too. Nice. Have you been in when Anna's been in with the 46-year-old frog? Ah, nice, Norwegian fish keeper Maria. Yes, thanks. So you have got an aquarium now. What fish did you get with it, kiddo? I am still at work. Juice. I know, I've been in all day, mate. I've been in all day. It's like, dude, we don't need to be working, do we, in our life? It's not right, is it? We should all not have to work. Is your tank behind you tall by height or big with width? It's both, mate, to be perfectly honest, Jay. Thanks for joining us tonight, mate. Yeah, so it's probably about, God, it's probably about 24 to 26 high and the same going back, but it has got a lot more, it's got a lot more width in it. It just gives you, so you can do more of a display. What I find with the fluval one is it's a little bit thinner, so as soon as you put a rock in it or like a stone in it, your tank's kind of like taken up from the back to the front. Whereas here, on this one, I've got like 3 rocks and there's still room at the front, if you know what I mean. You know what I mean? It just gives you a bit more room, get a way better looking scape on it, for sure. Peter Shaw, thank you, buddy. Thanks for joining us today. Good evening. Only Oscars, hello there. Okay, Jay. So, okay, so like I say, it's about 24 to 26 inch high. It's the same depth back, and then it's 4 foot in length. It's 300 litre. It's an Aqua One. If it's the Aqua One, and then there's the stand that it's on. It's all part of the kit that come with it. So it is rimless, but I've put a glass lid on there because the water loss on it was like, it's just immense because it runs at 82 degrees, this one. So yeah, it's the water loss was like crazy. So obviously that comes with issues of black mold and all that. This is it, only Oscars, isn't it? This is why I'm not like, I don't think they've died. I don't think they have. Surely if they'd have died, I'd have seen at least one of them body. They just never come out. Even like the starlights, they're a bit, they come out a lot, the starlights, but as soon as they see me, they're like, gone. The green phantom's kind of the same. To be honest, they all are. The only one that isn't, I've got a clown Pleco in my CO2 tank, and he's got balls in him. He'll just sit there and look at you. Even when you go near it, he's like, not bothered at all. Raina, thanks for joining us this evening, buddy. Hope you are, hope you're well. Hope you've had a good few days. You're new to my channel. Well, I hope you enjoy it, Only Oscars. I hope you've subscribed. If anyone's in here at the moment that hasn't subscribed to my channel, guys, just click that subscribe button and click that like button and just try to, it's a small channel that's trying to grow. You know, I do put a lot of work into it. So if you can subscribe, guys, that'd be fantastic. Hope you're well, Raina. Hope you're well. Shari here. How are you doing, buddy? You've ended up getting another tank, 240 litres. Nice. A bit of an upgrade from your Fluval Flex. All good though, mate, innit? It's all good. So what you gonna be putting in that? Nice. See, I knew someone would be able to answer these sickly questions. Finally got you. Finally got Crebensis eggs, mate. Nice, mate. A Danish 88. Cheers for joining. Cheers for joining us this evening. Good to see you. I've currently got Crebensis babies down this side. Crebensis babies down this side, hence why I've kind of moved over this side away. I'm kind of, if you've noticed, I'm a little bit more strategically in the middle just to give each side a bit of like, they don't want me keep moving because as soon as I move, you'll see the angels. They're all there, and so you give them the best chance. But yeah, I've got babies either side, and at the moment, I think the black marble angelfish is going to be spawning within the next couple of days. There's been a little bit of a showdown in there this evening, so it's not only the first sign. So there's more action going on in the tank than there is out of the tank. They'll come back as a Crebensis. My Crebensis are always at it, Danish. They are constantly breeding. Proper mad. Endel guppies, tuxedo guppies, neon tetras, ancestress, and corridors. Nice, nice, Maria. That was beautiful. Have I got any shrimp, Reese Roberts? Yes, thanks for joining us today, mate. I do have a Neocaridina shrimp tank, mate. Tell you what I'll do. I'll show you around my tank. I'll show you around my tanks, And then I'll have to plug my phone in because I've not put it on charge yet. So just bear with us. Okay, I'll take you off my ugly mush. So, okay, so let's, oh God. So this is the Neocaridina shrimp tank. All my tanks are fully planted. So that's the Neocaridina shrimp tank. Doing really well, to be perfectly honest. And then over to the rainbow tank, which is like pretty much the star of the show in all my videos. Again, fully planted, no CO2. Angelfish tank, which I have thought of something while we've been on stream. So the shop near me had Australian rainbows, and I am thinking about maybe seeing if they'll swap it out for the angels. And then this is the CO2 tank. I'm just waiting to get I've ordered iron and phosphorus, so hopefully they should be here within the next 2 to 3 days, so it said. So I ordered it yesterday, so 2 to 3 days is now really 1 to 2 days, isn't it? So I'm hoping that by weekend I can kind of dose that aquarium with iron and phosphorus. I know the iron will help them plants go red. So this is where I've been struggling getting the plants red. So if only plants went red like the lotus lily does, you know what I mean? It's crazy because that doesn't need any help whatsoever to go red. So yeah, once we get iron in there, I'm gonna see them red plants should explode, and phosphorus just helps them grow healthier apparently. So that on top of the APT3 that I use, so all good, all good. It's not fully visible. You've done such a great job. I know, mate. Cheers, buddy. Rishav, thanks for joining us this evening, mate. I have pulled it back a little bit, but it's out reading the comments as well, mate. So thank you for the explanation and thank you for the help. No problem, JV. My filter, so now I'm running a FX4 in the tank behind me, and I've got a 307 in the rainbow tank. The CO2 tank is a fluval spec, so that came with its own little well, you just get a little pump. If you don't know the fluval spec, it's really, really good. The filtration system's actually built into the tank, so you don't see it, it's all blacked off. So, and then you just get a little motor that just sends the water through. So yeah, you just get the filtration through on it. It's quite a decent tank, really, and it was dead reasonably priced. It only cost me like £80 that tank. That's why I bought it, because it was a bit of a bargain, to be honest. It is a canister filter, JV. Yeah, the FX4. There is a sponge filter running in there as well. It's probably not needed anymore. It was in there when I had an Awazi running in there as well. It just wasn't powerful enough to take detritus out of the cave systems. So I introduced that as well. It just gave it a bit more flow. Like I say, it probably doesn't need it anymore, but it's not doing any harm. Sat in the corner there. I clean it out once a month anyway. It still collects stuff out of the water, so it's doing a job in it. So I like to overfilter anyway. The substrate, mate, I always use Tropica soil or the fluval soil. And I have used Hugo Cominci, is it, soil as well, which I've found pretty decent in the past. And then it's just capped over with a fine gravel. I do put the soil in bags nowadays, which is a mistake I made on the rainbow fish tank, because I didn't bag the soil. And I'm a bit of a one for like swapping and changing plants, to be perfectly honest. Bit of a nightmare for it. My wallet thinks I'm a nightmare for it as well, because I just spend a fortune on plants. You know, if I go into a shop and I see a plant that I've never had before, it tends to come out. It's just the same as everyone with fish. Same with plants for me as well. A bloody nightmare. No idea on the stocking plan yet. Nah, mate. Oh, keep us informed, Pete. Keep us informed. Looking forward to hearing about it. What plants do you have in the tank? So in the rainbow fish tank, I've got Lotus Tiger Lily. I've got I've just recently put in an Anubias gracilis, is it? Something like that. It's the it's like an arrowhead shaped leaf. And then I've got Java fern. There's quite a lot of Anubias in my 2 big tanks. It never started off that way. I've only ever really bought, I've only bought like 4 or 5 Anubias nanas, a couple of Anubias bonsais over the time. But when I started doing a CO2 tank, the Anubias Anubias is a slow growing plant, but with CO2, it's like rapid growing plant. It just went crazy. So now that's just mainly Anubias and the Tiger Lily. And then I've just planted sage right across the front. So hopefully that'll kind of like carpet a little bit. So that'll be good. Yeah, Donny's right. You should go over to my channel, watch the CO2 tank build, because it is. I could have waited a little bit longer and got the red plants ready for it, but I'll do an update video on it. And because at the end of the day, the CO2 thing's a learning curve for me. I've never really used it before. I've been running it in my tanks for like 18 months, but it is a trial and everything. So I keep swapping plants out and trying different plants. So I did that before I rescaped it, but the Anubias just took over. You'll see it in the video. I show before I take it apart, and the Anubias just went. It just grew like crazy in the so in 18 months, the Anubias in a 60-litre tank CO2, 2 plants. This is how fast it grows. 2 plants went in there, and in 18 months, it filled both 4-foot tanks, and the Anubias in the shrimp tank is out of there as well. And there's about 4 plants in there. You'll just cut the rhizome and replant it in another tank. And like that's proper thick and bushy, because I just keep putting it in. And to be honest, I should take it all out, because it covers all the root work of the that I did. I spent days doing the scape on that tank, and I've just let it kind of get overrun with plants. Will, thanks for joining us, buddy. So my lights come on at 11 o'clock in the morning, but they come on so they're all fluval lights. So they come on, and you can, with the fluval ones, you can 100% control everything on them. So they come on at 11 o'clock, but they come on like really low light. So between 11 and 12, you get a sunrise. So a majority of the hour is like really low light. So it's not really affecting anything for like algae growth or anything like that. Just a gradual come on. They're on then for 8 hours. The light's on about 60% on white light. They're on for about 8 hours, and then I do a 2-hour sunset, and it just dies. This tank is going darker now. I don't know if you can tell on stream. I'm not sure, but yeah. Technically 8 hours. Well, really 11 hours they're on, mate. But if 3 of those hours are like low level light, you will notice it. This will start dropping off a lot more when it gets to 9 o'clock. It's a little bit slower between 8 and 9. But 9 o'clock it starts nosediving, and then you get just a couple of minutes of blue light. And then they're off for the night. And that's when I start looking to see if them plecs come out, and they don't. Nice, Reese. So you've got platies and guppies. They will supply you with loads of babies then, mate. Come back. Yeah, Norwegian. I'm do these now. So I'll be back on Friday night at 8 o'clock, and so and then it's going to start at 2:15 Saturdays. I did move it from 2:30 to 2, but I've kind of like I've not given myself enough time to do what I need to do. So yeah, we're going to start the Saturday streams like 2:15. It just gives me, it's not as rushed to like set up and that. So, and then it'll be 8 o'clock Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 8 p.m. till probably 10ish, depending on the light. You know, like I say, this is the first one at this time because we've been doing the 2 o'clock meets, haven't we? I use fluval lights and canisters. Very happy with them. I am Oscar. Only Oscars. Yeah, I am, buddy. I love my FX4. Is like, it's just yeah, it's another level. Not another level, because that, to be honest, you look in that tank. Obviously, like you can see it there. But it is like proper crystal clear. You'd look in and you're like, is there any water in it? It's, you know what I mean. If it wasn't, I don't load it. I don't do it right up to the top, so you can see there's water in it, but you know what I mean. I would recommend CO2 Oscars. I would. I am considering doing it in this tank as well. Maybe like moving some of the plants out and going higher level. Yeah, I think it's highly recommended, mate. It's quite expensive. Right. When the way I did it, it was expensive to set up, but once you're set up, you're kind of done, and then you've got to do your refills. So I looked at when I so I started off with my CO2 with the fluval, not the fluval, sorry, Tropica. What's it called? Oh God. So I started with that, the Tropica System Bio CO2 thing. And what you get there, so you get that bottle, right? Yeah, you get that bottle to start off with a little bit of pipe in there, and you put a diffuser on the end of that. So you get these packets of like yeast and sugar kind of mixture. You mix it with hot water. You put it in that, shake the sugar out of it, and then set it up into your tank. And over the next few hours, it starts producing CO2 as the yeast eats the sugar, take it, and boom. So I had that going. I had that going for 2 weeks, and I noticed that much of a difference in the health of the plants. I went straight up full CO2 proper system. So I kind of looked into it. I looked deeply into it. I watched George Farmer videos, to be perfectly honest. And like, from what I found was, if you go for the cheaper diffusers, when your gas canister's running out, there's a massive chance that it'll empty CO2 into your tank, overdose your tank, kill your fish. So obviously I don't want that. So I ended up getting a CO2 art one. Now it was like 230 quid, I think it was. So the regulator I'm on about now. Yeah, it was pretty expensive, but it is really good. And if I wanted to run any more tanks, CO2 in any more tanks, this regulator you can just add on. So I think you can run up to 8 tanks on this one regulator. So in like that, it's not too bad. I think when it comes down to buying CO2, then that's up to you really on how much you spend on it. So you can go into any like local fish store and get a canister of CO2 which is like, what, the size of a bottle of Coke, should we say? And it's going to cost you 30 quid. Or you can, this is in my lounge, but I hide my CO2 system with a speaker. And so I've got a 5 kilogram fire extinguisher, CO2 fire extinguisher. Originally, when I bought it 18 months ago, I got it on Amazon. It cost me £30. So that's like mega bargain, mega bargain. So I have looked because it ran out a couple of weeks ago. So I looked, and they're currently on Amazon at £60 for a 5 kilogram CO2 canister. So if you've got a place where you can store a big fire extinguisher, happy days. So I thought £60. There is a company around the corner from where I live that refill them. So I went round there and they just swapped it for another 5 kilo and charged me £30. So that's going to last me 12 to 18 months. We're just running it into the fluval spec and £30. So I think once you've got the initial outlay out of the way, it's cheap as, mate. And like, I do use the best quality fertilizer, because for the amount that you fertilize, if you go for the better quality, it doesn't cost that much anyway. I use this APT3, and I've been dosing that, but that doesn't seem to be enough. And someone called Jax came on Saturday, and I was asking them because they do CO2, and like I say, it's new to me. So they came on and just telling me that I needed iron and I needed phosphorus. So that's what's been ordered. So like that, this journey, I will document it all, because it's one of those, isn't it? It's a learning curve. So Rip, thanks for joining us this evening. My favourite fish. It depends, mate. It's hard to narrow it down to one. I do like rainbow fish. I like all kinds of different fish, mate. It's hard to narrow it down to one. Kind of like, but my channel is rainbow fish, so I've kind of got to say them. Probably my favourite rainbow fish would be the Susie rainbow fish and the Bosmani. Park and Sony, that's also beautiful fish. I will show you if he's out. I don't think they're out. I'll keep my eyes open anyway for the Susie, because in the evening my Susie look awesome. So I'll keep an eye out, and if they do come out and about, something going on at the moment, because on the right hand side of the rainbow tank, they've all been down there a lot. Don't know what's going on. A bit of a meeting going on or something out there. Is it fun to play with the settings? You know what? I found the setting them up frustrating, mate. Because as you take your finger, so I say you a bit of OCD, I think. When you're setting it, I say you set it to 30%. As you take your finger off, it'll go up to 32%. And it used to proper pee me off. It's a bit OCD. I'm like, no, I want it 30%. But like, it's a bit mad, mate, really, because all my tanks are set. Right, so this is really weird, right? So all my tanks are all set. They're all the same lights. All right, the CO2 tank is Aqua Sky is running in that. But I've got on the nano tank, I've got the fluval nano plant, and then on that it's two different sizes of fluval nano, fluval plants, sorry, and they're all set exactly the same settings, but each tank looks totally different as the sun's dropping on them. Which is really weird, really, seeing as they're all the same lights, they're all exactly the same settings at the same times. It's kind of what I like about it. So 11 in the morning, boom, 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 all four tanks come on at the same time, and 10 o'clock tonight, all the tanks go off at the same time. Roundabout, if there's 10 seconds in between them all, boom, 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 boom. Just, that's what I like about it. It's cool. 6 of my tanks works for me. Is that what you run on yours? How big's yours tank then, Oscar? Oscar's with your FX6? Because they are awesome, aren't they? They are spot on. Top notch from Fluval there. I have 250 guppies for eyes and 100. Reese, you're going to have more than that. Half of them, the female guppies will already be born pregnant, because I kind of believe that, well, it's not like I believe, I know. The mother guppy passes sperm on to the babe. So the females, if you took that for the female fry out now, when they grow, they would give birth, because they carry the dad's sperm. Weird. You recommend the generators first to try? You could do Oscars, yeah. I've still got two. If you're on about the bags of these for the CO2, I've still got 2 bags left, mate. I did it for 2 weeks. One bag lasts about 10 days, and I think bought 4 bags and then ended up only using 2. After 20 days, I'd gone full kit. Oh, Mr. Icemarks, thanks for joining us, buddy. What about a second bottle of water to clean this CO2? Don't really understand what you mean, mate. They do go through a bubble dropper, but a bubble counter, but I don't really know what you're on about. The CO2 is clean as far as I'm aware, mate. Don't really know what you're saying there, buddy. Just bought a 200-litre dual tank and had a Fluval 407 filter to go with it. Nice, that's nice, mate. I like the 407 as well. I've got a 307 on my rainbow tank, mate, and they're dead easy to clean, and that's what it's all about, innit? I'll actually do a video on how to clean them, because you know what, for ages I was struggling getting the canister off, and then I kind of watched someone, and you'd kind of just push down on the handles and it just all pops off. For ages I was struggling getting fish poo along my chest because I'm trying to wrestle the top off. For ages. What size CO2 canister for 100 gallon? Well, the bigger you go, mate, the better, really. But you'll go through it a lot faster. My bubble counter's round about, it's probably about 3 bubbles every 2 seconds. So if there's any mathematicians out there for a per second count, but yeah, it's about, yeah, that's about, yeah, I get about 3 bubbles every 2 seconds is what I do. But 100-gallon tank, mate, it's going to be a lot more going into it, isn't it? It might be worth looking at a system. There is systems where you can feed CO2 into the water as it's being pumped like out of your filter, so it goes, you can pump it into the airline there, and I believe that's a lot more sufficient, because it kind of dissolves, the CO2 dissolves in the water before it actually goes into the tank, so you're not getting, like, you know what I mean, you're not getting the bubbles coming out of a diffuser, because it actually done as it leaves the filter. There is I think, is it MJ Aquascaping? He's like a CO2 guy. I'm pretty sure he did a video on it about 18 months ago, because I saw it. But yeah, it's quite a good way of getting CO2 in the water, and probably cheaper, because there's none just like getting lost to the atmosphere straight away. Nice, Oscars. 100 gallon to 450 gallon. Wow, mate, they're massive, aren't they? Hi, Buys. How you doing, buddy? Love your Susie. I know, I'm kind of keeping my eye out, because there's one out, but it's not really that to colour tonight. So obviously they'll make liars of me, won't they? I have every colour Oscar possible. 3 wild type Oscars. There's another wild Oscar I don't have, but no one has it either. Nice, Oscars. So The shop where I go, they've got a tank of Oscars there, mate, and it's stunning. It's like the electric blue ones. I've never had them. I've never had Oscars. I know years ago we used to like go into a shop in Stockport, and they had like a good few different Oscar tanks, obviously stock tanks, and they just follow you. The Oscars would follow you like the angelfish do. As you walk past, every single Oscar would just like follow you as far as they could. So how many types of Oscars are there then? Only Oscars? It's one of them things I've never had. Are they easy to look after, or is it quite a difficult thing are they difficult? Oh, I can imagine, mate, yeah. Impressive in large numbers. I can imagine. Because like I say, I go into a shop 3 miles up the road from me, and yeah, mate, it's awesome. Their tank's got about 30 in there at the moment. All the same colour. They're all stunning though. Kind of gotta like them. The smallest is 240 gallon. Wow. So do you breed those then? I take it do you breed them for? Is that your job? Only Oscars. Ice Cream Man, thank you for joining us tonight. Oh, mate, I could just do an ice cream as well. The tank behind me, mate, it's 300 litre, which I believe is 66 gallons. It's Aqua One. It's a pretty decent tank, mate, to be perfectly honest. It is rimless, but I have put a glass lid on it just to stop any water loss, because the evaporation was crazy on that tank. Absolutely crazy. I wish it was 150 gallon tank ice cream. It's 4 foot in length, mate. Yeah, it's 300 litres. I wish it was that size. I'd love to go. I'd love a massive, like 6, 8. Well, let's just say 8 to 10 foot tank. I'd love to scape an 8 to 10 foot tank, to be honest. You can imagine, like, so you're going. If I had money, which I haven't, if I had money, the amount of wood that I'd have, it would be crazy. Because you know when you go in the shopping, like, wow, look at that wood there. How much is that? 90 quid. Yeah, I can't just spend 90 quid on a piece of wood that I can't use. But yeah, I'd have loads. So, but can you imagine the scape you could get on an 8 foot tank? I can imagine the cost. It'd be quite immense, wouldn't it? But Will, no, I haven't, mate. No, but I've never let it get to the surface to do that. I believe you need to get to the surface and kind of live as a surface plant before they'll throw a flower out. But no, I've never had a flower, mate. It would be nice, but one, now the tank's got a lid on it anyway. But I don't know. I just like to train them to go low, because like my rainbow, the one in my rainbow fish tank, guys, I have kind of, I cut it back on Saturday. I took all the big leaves off it, but if I can just do it without disconnecting you, as you can see there, it's growing back pretty nicely. And it's growing back pretty well, to be perfectly honest. And by Saturday, I think it'll have grown a little bit more as well. And then over the next few weeks, it should start reddening up. But I have dropped the lights a little bit on the rainbow tank. I did up the lights a little bit, but Anubias is just a bit of a gatherer of algae, with it being slow growing. You want to get a tank for your house in the Philippines? Well, if you want to pay for my flight, mate, I will help you set it up. I'd like to go to the Philippines. To be honest, I'd like to go quite a lot of places, to be honest. Why not? Why not throw the Philippines in there as well? Could you point out the fish names in my tank, please? Okay, mate, I will name them. I am not going to kind of disconnect it because it's a bit of a pain in the ass. But so I have Bozeman rainbow fish, Lake Katubu, blue turquoise rainbow fish, Susi rainbow fish. There's Madagascar rainbow fish in there. What else have I got in there? There's some Western rainbow fish in there. There's a black red tail shark in there. There's Crebensis in there. Silver tip tetras, which I do like them silver tip tetras, to be perfectly honest. And then there's a good selection of Corydoras in that, well, in both tanks, to be perfectly honest. They're another fish I can't really resist buying, to be perfectly honest. If I see some Corydoras that I like, and then I do tend to try picking a few up. Yeah, Will. It's come down really low. It is really low. It's and at the moment I'm testing. Just 1 sec. Am I like proper red there? I'm not sure. Looks proper red on me. I am testing my own root tabs. So I've decided I've made my own root tabs. I kind of tested them in plastic bottles first to see what kind of ammonia spike you got on them. I tested it side by side. So I tested one of my root tabs against a well-known brand, shall we say. I won't. A well-known brand for fruit tabs. And the ammonia spike wasn't as much on mine as it was on theirs. And it was only in like a small bottle. It was a concentrated test at the end of the day. So I was quite confident that I wasn't going to get any ammonia spike on there. I've just placed one near the Lotus, and I just want to see how the Lotus fares on that over the next few weeks. To be honest, it tends to be doing pretty good. It's going nice and red. The leaves went a bit green at first, but it had been getting shaded by the lilies that are above it. It's now reddening up, so that's good because I have cut, like I say, I've cut the light down. So that's all good. Sorry, something just come through on my phone there. They're all river fish, mate. So they tend to be from like Indonesia, Australia, Papua New Guinea. And then like behind me is Rainbow Fish Aquarium. So it's not a Rainbow Fish Aquarium. It's me tired. Angelfish Aquarium there. There's 5 angelfish in there, 4 of which are 2 breeding pairs. They all get on really, really well. There's a little bit of tension when it's coming up to breeding time, which is like every 3 weeks or so. There was a little bit of tension tonight until I fed them, and then that's all quietened down a little bit. And then in that tank, then there's red phantom tetras. There's another selection of Corydoras in there. There's 5 plex in there, 3 different types: golden nugget, green phantom, and starlight. And then Crebensis and a great shoal of cardinal tetras. And I want to double up the cardinal tetras. There's about 20, 25 in there at the moment. I want to double that up at least. I want at least like 50 cardinals in there because they look awesome when it's like now against the black background. They just look like something special. Will, the root tab, I did it under gravel. I did 4 bottles and put plants in different ones. Same plant, same length, just to see how they go. I was going to do a video on it, but to be honest, it would have been like well boring. But yeah, they went under 2 inches of gravel. Each one went under 2 inches of gravel. Like I say, the well-known brand got a bit of an ammonia spike on it. It got an ammonia spike on them both, but just not as much on my own made ones. It works out. Let's put it this way: if they are good, see, I don't know. It's hard to test them on the CO2 tank because I've got shrimp in there. I don't know if the shrimp's safe. So I'd probably be able to make for the same price as what you'd buy a well-known brand of, like, in a bottle for like 50 for like 25 quid. I think for 25 quid, I'd probably be able to make 2,000 easy. So it'd be interesting to see if I will put a few more in the rainbow fish tank soon, I think. And I might drop some under the Sage in here and see how it goes. And like I say, in the Lotus in there as well, see how they go. So interesting. I love the Phantom Pleco. I think about getting one myself, the blue Phantom. I do, Donny. I've like I said, well, I had 2 green Phantoms in there, but one of them did sadly die on me. But the blue Phantoms are awesome, aren't they? I had a blue Panac in there, but it kind of long time ago, before that tank had some really expensive fish in there, and I put a blue Panac in there and something came in with it and kind of wiped the old tank out, which was pretty upsetting. Will Seachem, I've just ordered some Seachem gear, mate. I don't really know much about them. The only Seachem stuff I've ever used was Garlic Guard, and I kind of don't know if Garlic Guard works or not, but really get many parasites and stuff, so I take it works. But the Seachem, I've ordered Seachem Iron and Seachem Phosphorus, so I'll see. I've never used a fertilizer or anything, because I use in the CO2 tank. I use APT3 because that was recommended by a world champion aquascaper. Well, I'll say world champion. He was in the world championships, 28th in the world. So, and he recommended APT3, so that'll do for me if that's what they use. And then I've ordered the additional iron and additional phosphorus, so we'll see how we go from there. What's some sort of future plans for adding to your tank? To be honest, Ice Cream, I am considering, right, so I have been considering getting rid of the angels. I have. I kind of don't want to, but then they don't really do much. So every time I come on stream, I say that there's an angel fish that just never moves. He stays on my state, and there he is. See him there. See him there. Let's see if I get my finger. So there he is. Yeah, orange head. Always just sat on my shoulder here all the way through every stream I've done. If you look back on all my streams, he's there. He just kind of sits there all the time. They don't really do much, so I'd like to swap them out. And I have been thinking about swapping them out for tiger barbs, and trying to get 6 of each type of tiger barb: green, emerald, normal, albino. You know, and just because I do like, I've kind of got a thing for tiger barbs. I think they're pretty awesome. But then I had a bit of a thought that maybe I could swap out the angels and get 8 Australian rainbows, because they had Australian rainbows at a shop near me. I'm just wondering if they would. I might have to put money to it as well, but there's 2 breeding pair of angels there, and I'm pretty sure if you sell them as breeding pair, will you get more money for them? So. He's always there, mate. He's always there. You see him there now. Just sits there. It's like a parrot. Just sits on my shoulder. But they are. I do love them, but just a little bit don't do much, if you know what I mean. Whereas I had a species only tinfoil barb tank years ago, and I think it was a 3-foot tank, and I just had 6 tinfoil barbs, but they grew to like probably about 6-7 inch, and they just looked amazing. And I've always had a bit of a thing for barbs. I just fear for the lotus. If I've got barbs, I don't know whether they destroy the lotus, to be perfectly honest. Because not exactly plant friendly, are they, barbs? They're a bit destructive, so. Lester, thanks for joining us this evening. Hope you are well. So like I say, and then like cardinals. So I do have plans, mate, for the future of my tank, and it's mainly this one. So when this tank was originally set up, it was set up for rams mainly. I bought some electric blue rams, got some babies off them and everything, and then started entering a few different types of Pleco in there. And like I say, I'd put a blue panic in there, and I'd bought everything from the same shop. I won't mention the shop, but I bought everything from the same shop, and so I'd spent the tank and the setup cost probably about $2,000, and then I was putting there was probably everything in there was like a bit more specialist. It cost a fair bit of money, and yeah, like I say, something came in with that panic, and it's pretty upsetting when you sat watching your tank and a Corridora is swimming across the tank, and all of a sudden it just goes, hits the bottom, dead. And over the next 2 hours, dum, 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 everything dead. Water tests, perfect. Don't know what it was. Went to the shop. They were just not interested. Not interested. On someone that went in that shop weekly, where I dealt with the same guy every time, and as soon as he walked in, you could see like dollar signs in his eyes because they're all on commission. So you kind of know, you know, he was like, he knew he was going to make money on me that day. And I went back and I was like, look, something's gone on in this tank, and I think it's something that's coming on the blue panic. And could you help me out to replenish the stock? And he just binned me off. And never been back since. Spent $4,000 in that shop in the space of 2 months. 2 months. That's how they treat you. So I'm always a believer of building up a good relationship with your aquarium where you buy your fish. And I have actually got a video on my channel, guys, about choosing a local fish store, and it is what I look out for when I go into a new shop. And I'd always suggest everyone watch it, because I think I'm right in what I look out for when I go into a shop. Because I don't want to walk into a shop I don't mind walking into a shop that's quiet, because you know shop's busy all the time. But if I go in that shop and it's quiet and all the staff are talking at the till and doing nothing, and there's dead fish in that tank, in that aquarium, in any of them tanks, don't think it's good. Don't think it's good enough. So yeah, that's kind of, I do look out for loads of different things when I go into a new store. And I go to I use Maidenhead Aquatics in Wigan. Is my main place. I do have 2 local to me that I use for bits and bobs and that, and I kind of go in there and I do support them as much as possible as well. But yeah, I get off to Maidenhead Aquatics in Wigan because they kind of stock loads of different types of rainbow fish and that. So it is worth it, ice cream. It is worth it when it's your passion, in it. It's one of them things, isn't it? When it's something that chills you out. Because like I'll be honest, the last like 4 years have been pretty tough. And I think these have helped me out loads. So like the past 4 years, I've lost my dad, who was like proper close to, and he would have loved these tanks because he was the one who got me into tropical fish originally. So yeah, he'd have loved these tanks because like my dad was in the hobby years ago, and before like he got all the plants that you get now. And my dad was a keen gardener, so he'd have loved it. The hobby's changed so much in 40 years, guys. It was an experience ice cream, something out of and I'll be honest, it broke my heart. It broke my heart. And it wasn't. It was just like, what do you do? What did you do? I did a massive water change straight away, just in case. Like I tested all the water. There was nothing on the tests. Everything was right. And the shop like, something's poisoned it. Something's poisoned your tank. So I was like, okay, I'll have that. If you think that's what's happened, that's fine. If you think the tank's been poisoned, okay. Explain to me one thing though regarding the tank being poisoned. If that one's been poisoned by something that's in the atmosphere, my hands haven't been in the water or anything like that. If something's poisoned that tank in the atmosphere, why is it not poisoning the tank at the side of it as well? And they couldn't answer that. But they weren't interested though. They weren't interested. And they lost a customer because since then I've set up 2 more aquariums, redesigned the 2 smaller ones, redone. So they've lost out on money there as well, because I used to go there every week. Palmer Aquatics, thanks for joining us today, buddy. Hope you're well. Azaz Betis Campus, thank you. Mr. Myers, welcome back, buddy. Hope you're well today. How's your past few days been, buddy? I've got dwarf crebensis in a planted tank. Recommend some algae eaters to clean the plants and the waste. Okay, yeah, right, okay. So Otto Synclus, always a dead cert for every aquarium, to be perfectly honest. I do have Ottos in all my tanks, guys. In the bigger ones, there's about 8 in there. I've always been told not to get more than 8 because they are so ferocious eaters of algae. So yeah, the Otto Synclus is good with crebensis. That kind of rules out your shrimp and things like that. Plecos, mate. I know they're not classed as cleanup crew really, but I class Corridor as a cleanup crew as well, just because they buzz around the bottom, stirring up that gravel. It just puts any detritus back into the water column. So I think without knowing it, Corridors do quite a good cleanup job for you. But yeah, so like heavily planted tank, mate. I keep rainbows in my, I keep crebensis in my rainbow tank, and I don't get any aggression whatsoever because they occupy 2 different parts of the tank. And rainbow fish kind of munch away on blackbeard algae as well, mate. So a few things there. All good. I actually do a video on algae eaters, mate, which will cover quite a lot of different ones. Like I say, stay clear of your shrimp because they're just gonna, your crebensis will soon munch through them, mate. Snails are a good option, but crebensis can kind of, I think they munch on snails as well. So, but if you've got like nearite snails, I don't think crebensis would go near a nearite snail. I'm not quite sure, to be perfectly honest. I've never seen. See, I had snails in my tanks. I had ramshorn snails in my tanks, but the rainbows polished them all off. I just see the odd one now and again. Will. So yeah, do I put fish tank water in? So from the shop, I do from Maidenhead at Wigan, mate, because all their system runs through so ultraviolet light, so everything's clean. But I see, I'm a bit of a, if you don't trust the water of the shop where you're buying your fish from. Why are you buying fish from there? That's the way I look at it, mate. So, but I know people pour fish into the nets and do it. I think that must be so stressful for the fish. I've always thought that, and I've always like, I float the bag and I pour little bits of my tank water into the bag over a 30 to 40 minute period, and then I let them swim out the bag. And then if I can, so I kind of, it's weird, I don't tip the bag in. I'll tip the bag to the side and let the fish swim out of it, and then I'll take the bag. And that's kind of how I do it. I don't empty the water in. I kind of let them swim out and then take out. I take it some tank water will enter or some of the fish shop tank water will enter my tank, but hey ho. I'm not one for pouring fish into a net and then putting them in. I did it with my Amano shrimp when I did that, and that was just horrendous because they all jumped out. So yeah, that was great, isn't it? So yeah, I've never been a fan of doing that, buddy, to be honest. Jason, thank you, buddy. I have a suggestion for you. What shot messed you over? You should have taken your container. I know, mate. I know. I think, well, this is one thing, guy. I tested their water as well. I tested their water from the bag. It's something I do on new shops. I'm a nightmare, me, when I'm buying. If I buy from a new shop that I've never bought before, when I get home, I do a test on the water just to see. And yeah, the nitrates, ammonia, all through the roof. And yeah, so it was a bit like, I kind of do it often. It's one of those, I have a bit of a wrestle me with regarding like GH and KH of your water and that. So I always I test the GH of quite a few different shops to see what they're running it at, just to see. Because my KH and GH on my tap water is 0. So I do add a buffer. And but yeah, I'm always a bit intrigued on what shops. I do test the water. Shadow Smoke, thanks for joining us this evening. My thoughts on Nitro Goop are, I've never used it, mate, but I hear really good reports about it. So yeah, like I say, mate, I've never used it. I've always on the big tanks, I did a fishing cycle with just what did I do it in? I don't know. With 3 corridors, and I just did when I did a fishing cycle and just added fish slightly. On the smaller tanks, I did it adding ammonia and doing it like that. But I've never used Goop, mate. I'll be honest with you, I only heard about it about 6 weeks ago. I'd never even, people were talking about it and I was like, what's that? I've never seen it before. But I know Seachem Prime, that kind of detoxifies everything, doesn't it? But yeah, it's a bit of a mad one, isn't it? I don't know. I've never used it, buddy. Never used it, but I hear nothing but good reports on it. Let's put it this way. I've not seen a bad report on it. So I think that kind of probably speaks for itself, mate, to be honest. It does. Thank God it only happens rarely as well, ice cream. Dahlia Bowman, thanks for joining us this evening. How was my day? It's been okay. Been in work, so great. But it's been all right. It's been okay. It's been a mad few days, to be honest, with birthdays and things going on. One of my mates died over the weekend as well, sadly. So yeah, that's been a bit of a crazy one. One of my mates, 54 years old. Rest in peace, boy. Oh, rest in peace. Just put some in the tank this morning. Looking forward to testing next 2 days. Yeah, mate. Just keep those tests going. Thomas Holmes, thanks for joining us, buddy. How important do you think low nitrates are? My nitrates aren't that low, mate. This is my personal opinion is I don't think nitrates have as much of a mad influence on your aquarium. My nitrates are quite high because the plants just feed off it, don't they? So my nitrates will always be high because I fertilize as well, so that'll put the nitrates up. Every time I test, they're around about 40 parts per million. So I don't think high nitrates aren't as much of a problem. Obviously, nitrites and ammonia needs to be at 0 because they're the ones that are proper toxic. But heavily planted aquariums, nitrates kind of benefit you. Say I fertilized the 2 big tanks, get fertilized daily because that's what it recommends, and that's the way it is. So it's better with a set, guys. Don't know what happened there. My laptop's shut down. So anyway, I'm back. So yeah, I'm sorry, mate. My laptop had a bit of a funny session. Do I do big water changes? I do big water changes on the rainbow fish tank, mate. Rainbow fish kind of like massive water changes because I'm a river fish, so they're getting a constant stream of fresh water. So I do 40% on the rainbow fish tank every single week. I kind of do that on a live stream on a Saturday afternoon as well, will. And then the angelfish tank gets about 10% every week. I have a funny feeling the angelfish tank won't get done this weekend because there has been a little bit of action in there, and so I think they'll start breeding. I don't know if you can see it. There's one of the starlight plecos is out and about. Let's see if we can get you into them. On the wood. I don't know if you can see him there. Yeah. Don't know if you can see him there. But anyway, on the wood there, one of the starlight plecos is out. That's actually the female. So they are a breeding pair, those 2 as well. So it's always a bit of a mission who gets the. For some reason, there's 9 caves in there and 2 shop bought caves, and the plex and the cribs all like to use one certain cave, and there's enough to go around. So, but it's a bit mad with the plex in there, and the cribs want to breed. It's quite funny because they're all like swimming around lost. Like, I don't know where to go. It's 9 caves on. Oh, there's 11 caves in there, so I don't know why they struggle. But yeah, they do though. Shari, what's the best carpeting plant I use? So in the CO2 tank, I've carpeted the dwarf hairgrass, and that does really well. And to be honest, I looked at it earlier, and I need to trim my lawn. I do. It needs trimming, and that's been done since that tank's been built. So it's like 7 weeks old, and it's completely carpeted. And I think I've cut the grass about 5 times on it already. So yeah, I love carpeting the dwarf airgrass in the CO2 tank, mate. I'm having a go at the Sadge on this, so we'll see how that goes. I've noticed a couple of little runners coming off on the Sadge on there as well, so that should be pretty decent. And I love Monte Carlo, mate. I love Monte Carlo, but it doesn't love me. I've killed so much Monte Carlo. It's kind of like, it's unreal. Even in the CO2 tank, I've killed Monte Carlo in that. I don't know what it is. I can't grow it. I used to stress about nitrate. It says mine are about 30 part, 40 part on the tap. I've read something say it's not toxic at those levels. I don't think it is, Thomas. It's like in my tanks, they're like 40 parts per million. It doesn't really, I don't really worry about the nitrates, to be perfectly honest. Because like I'll do a water change and if I do a water change, I've got like pretty much, the nitrates in my tap water are pretty low. But then as soon as you add fertilizer in it, it shoots it back up anyway. So, but the plants love it. And like, my fish don't suffer through the nitrates. So that's kind of, that's how I look at it, mate, to be honest. Plenty of tanks can have them. It's the other two that you've got to worry about. It's the ammonia and nitrates. I don't worry about nitrates, mate. I never have. I'll be honest with you, 40 years ago, they wouldn't test for any of it, to be perfectly honest. GH, KH, nitrates, ammonia. Well, you don't want to test about that. No one bothered with any of that stuff. It was just like, I know it's changed loads over the years, and they obviously get more fish now, so probably that's where it's kind of introduced. But I gave a damn about any of that. It wasn't an issue. It wasn't something that you gave a worry about. I've been in this hobby for so long. You see how things change, but then you start doubting what you did years ago, and then you think, well, maybe the water's changed over years. And like, water can't really change, but maybe things that the companies put in your water has changed over years. Don't know. To make it safe for us to drink, I suppose. I suppose that kind of technology's changed over years, so things do change, don't they? Non-CO2 carpet implant. You know what, mate? I find in my tanks, the Crips, is it Wenditai? I'm not great on pronouncing these plant names, guys. But I found that carpet's quite pretty well, to be perfectly honest. Just a money grab. I believe it could well be, mate. It's one of those, isn't it? Because like in the past few weeks where we've been doing these streams, a good mate of mine through YouTube, Ron at Garage Aquatics, he keeps Neocaridina shrimp in his waters like 180 GH. 180 GH. My GH in the shrimp tank's 5. And they both thrive. So that's a massive difference. I don't know whether is that just because it's been kind of, because the captive bred, do they kind of lose what they require in the water requirements in the wild when the captive bred? Is that bred out of them? I don't know. Are there more species of fish available than the past? Oh, massively, mate. Honestly, Myers, it's crazy now. It's crazy. You never saw rainbow fish back in the day. They were like, never saw them. I think back in the day, really, you got your general live bearers, your mollies, platies, swordtails, guppies. They were like the main thing. Black mollies, I remember like being a big like surge with black mollies. Everyone kind of wanted them. And then like you'd get obviously you got your angelfish, you'd get gouramis. I actually had piranha. I did have piranha to, what will it be, about 25 years ago, which was a bit mad. But yeah, it was just like your general tetras and things like that, cardinals, neons, harlequins, and then, but now it's another level, isn't it? It's like probably, I don't hold me against, but there's probably 1,000 different types of Pleco for a start. There's 40 odd different types of rainbow fish. The amount of different types of like tetra and rasporas, and like black widows have always been about. Certain tetras have always been about, but like neon green rasporas, you never got them years ago in the hobby. Never even heard of them before. Up to like probably 2-3 years ago, you never saw like chili rasboras or anything like that. They were all just pretty much your basic live bearers, things that bred quickly, crebensis, angelfish, like I say, your gouramis. That's kind of what you got. I take it as things that bred without many problems and just ended up being cash, big cash cow in it. Thomas, what is your all-time favorite fish to keep? See, this is a really, really tricky question, isn't it? Because I've had so many different things over years, and they're all different. I am a rainbow fish keeper. I have resourced rainbow fish massively, which I kind of do when I get into something. So the channel's about rainbow fish. So I've kind of got to say rainbow fish are probably up there with my favourites. I am a big lover of the Susie rainbow fish. And unfortunately, then, my Susie rainbow fish tonight have not really come to any decent colour. So we'll have to keep an eye on it. Normally, they do come up to a really decent, like electric pink, kind of orangey colour. And they're proper gorgeous, but they've just not come to colour tonight. So yeah, my Susie rainbow fish are probably my favourite rainbows. Oh God, mate, it's hard to say. If I went for a monster fish, I'd love a big enough tank to throw some arowana, because some of them I'm like, I went into a shop not long back and there was an arowana in there and it like pinky colour in the light, and it was just stunning. But they grow big, don't they? So you need a massive tank. I'm not a believer of putting big fish in small tanks, you know. I also like monos. Who remembers years ago? So years ago, I haven't seen them for years though. Actually, mono angelfish. They're slightly brackish water fish, and the silver. They are a type of angelfish, but they don't have the can't think what they call them, but they come off the angelfish anyway, like the little long things. What I can't remember. I'm tired. But yeah, Google them mono angelfish. They are stunning. I had a tank of about 12 of them at one point. They were beautiful, but they are more brackish. But I haven't seen them for years, to be perfectly honest. And I've not seen peppered cories for a couple of years either. Jeremiah, thank you, buddy. Have I ever bred fish for profit? Thomas, it's pretty hard in this country because I've bred fish and got like food for them, you know. But to breed and sell fish legally in this country, you do need a license to sell pets in the UK. So no, I've never done it to make money, mate, but I have like done it and got food. I tend to take, when I go to my Maidenhead Aquatics in Wigan, I tend to take them a bag of cribs now and again. So it's like, and I'll just get some frozen food or some dried food in replacement for that. And I have been like trying to promote. I took 2 weeks off work last week and the week before, and I had the intentions of doing quite a lot, but I spent more time trying to promote YouTube than what I actually wanted to do, because I've got 2 big tubs of anubias that I need to sort out and maybe get to a shop. Because I'm pretty sure that they'll buy anubias off me. If anyone is actually if anyone's in now who's from the Manchester area and they want anubias, get in touch with me on Facebook or Instagram. Same channel name. Sort something out because I've got loads. Jeremiah, thank you for joining us, buddy. It's been a pleasure. Come back. We do so it's going to be Monday, Wednesday, Friday evenings from 8 till probably around about 10 o'clock, and then Saturday afternoons tends to be like a 3-hour-ish stream. We have been getting some really good people in here. Rainer, I don't know if Rainer's still in now, but like Rainer breeds seahorses. It's been really, really good. If anyone's in the channel at the moment, guys, who's not a subscriber, if you can just dink the subscribe button and the like button and show the chat a bit of love and all that jazz. Don't forget. Thanks, Donny. Just I hadn't read what you'd put there then, Donny, and you already covered it. How many bows mani have I got? So I have, there's 4 male and 4 female in that tank. It's quite hard getting the females, I find, because what you find is, like, I don't know if it goes around for the whole of the country or in the trade, but you tend to not really get many females in the shops, because one, I think the breeders keep them, because obviously the more females, the more eggs, more babies, boom, more money. And no one really wants to buy the females because they're lacking in colour. So yeah, I do struggle. I went into my local fish store a few months ago actually, and I saw them. I was like, they're 4 females, I'll have them all. So yeah, I've got 8 altogether in there, Donny. I've got 4 blue rainbows, 2 male, 2 female. I could only ever get 2 of the western rainbows, and I think they're both males. Madagascar, I could only ever get 3. So yeah, I've got like 3 Madagascar in there, but together they all shoal together and do pretty well together, to be honest. Root tabs. Where do you live, Will? The root tabs are a dodgy one at the moment, mate, because I'm not fully tested. But I will do a video eventually on the root tabs to show you how to make them. Kent, yeah, that's not too far, mate, is it? Contact me on Facebook, buddy, or Instagram, and we'll have a chat. Aquarists near me, and they try to give you mainly male. This is it, Donna. This is it. You see, they don't really sell the females. They're all males. It's just hard getting them. Sometimes you go in and some of them are young, and you just got to try and look and see if they're a little bit more slender. Look at the fins. But yeah, they don't part with the females, mate. It's a nightmare. Do it in quite a lot as well. Do it in quite a lot. Don't part with the females because they don't want the cash, aren't they? What's the Maidenhead Aquatics like near you, Donny? Because I'm quite lucky around here, really. I do have to travel a little bit, but in a 30-mile radius, I have some really good shops. I've got 4 Maidenhead Aquatics, which are all pretty decent. One's really good if you're looking for betters. Wigan one's good for rainbows and all kinds, really. They've got all kinds. And to be honest, the Maidenhead at Wigan, Dave in there, he's just like a tropical fish encyclopedia. He's unbelievable. He's unbelievable. I'll tell you how he is. When he got me my green phantom plex, he says, I think that one's female and I think that one's male because it's fighting more in the net. That's what he said. I was like, what's that about? So yeah, he knows his stuff. He really is. He's like someone who's just like unbelievable. He's probably forgotten more than I know. Yeah, mate. So they didn't sell you female Akara either. It's a joke, isn't it? It's an absolute joke. It's hard work because you read up and you're like, right, these fish need to be like male to female to stop aggression, and then just sell you males, and it can be problematic, can't it? But it's because it's the color, isn't it? And people going in these shops are going, I want that one, I want that one, I want that one, all color. Whereas the shop should be going, right, mate, what, you need to take females as well for them to get on. You can't have all males in your tank. Sure. To me, I want babies. I want to see them spawn. I'm not really bothered if I get babies, but I want to see them spawning, because if they're spawning, it means your tank's right for them, doesn't it? Everything's right for them. They're not going to spawn. If the water quality is not right, they're not going to spawn. So for me, it's a good indication. It's a good indication that I've got crib babies there. I've got crib babies there, and I've got angelfish getting ready to spawn. It says to me that tank is kicking it. It's doing good. It's a good indication. Spawning fish. It's nice to see. And I'm like, and shrimp. I'm my shrimp tank. I struggled with shrimp for about 12 months. I couldn't keep shrimp alive, and then started watching Fish Keeping Answers, Richard there, Fish Keeping Answers, and I watched all his videos, and that's just turned my shrimp around. And now shrimp to me are an indicator for if your tank's doing well. If the tank's doing well, your shrimp are gonna just like explode. And I've even transferred shrimp over into the CO2 tank. So it's always good just watching them as well, isn't it? Watch your fish, know how they move. And then when you see changes, you know there's a problem. It's just a dead good indication. Watch them when they're feeding. Yeah, Donny, I'd like Caras. To be honest, the shop near me's got some in at the moment. But again, I think they're all male, you know. But they are stunning, aren't they? I got electric blue rams in here, and oh god, it was like beautiful, absolutely beautiful. Just that electric blue in it, something else. And German blue rams, I had some German blue rams in there as well. That tank was set up for rams, like I say. Everything just got wiped out. It's quite upsetting. But yeah, the root tab thing is it's going to be quite interesting. It's going to be interesting because I'm not sure I'd like go into selling the root tabs, because like one, I'm not prepared to test them on my tank to see if the shrimp safe. I'm not prepared to do it, so I wouldn't like to say if they'd be shrimp safe. And I'm just gotten myself to doing my own tanks to save me money. The problem, I think, is if you start selling them, is if I don't know where you stand legally if they wipe someone's tank out. You know what I mean? It's a bit dodgy, in it. But I'll do a video on how I made them, because everything's just available on Amazon. And I think I've spent hardly anything. It might be about £15-20, but I reckon I'll be able to make at least 2,000 root tabs for that kind of money. So I want to see the difference in the 4-plant bottles. Well, I've binned them all, mate. It's just something that I did as a personal thing. So I did one bottle was just plain, nothing in it, just gravel, plant, water. The second one was a well-known branded root tab. Nearly said them then. Well-known branded root tab. Third one was my own root tab. And then the fourth one was, I can't remember. I think it was, but there was, yeah, I don't know what the fourth one was. I don't know. Can't remember now. So, but anyway, it was just to test the ammonia spike more than anything. But the plants, some just melted away. I did start actually doing a video on it, but it kind of all went pear-shaped, because some of the plants in there melted away, maybe because I was doing full root tabs in like a litre of water. So it probably, to be honest, they probably destroyed the plants more than anything, because the only plant that did well was the plant with no root tab in there. But it wasn't really, it was originally set up to see how you got growth, but I kind of realized that to do it properly, I'd probably need to either split the root tabs and do maybe a quarter of a root tab or bigger bottles. But it kind of gave me the information I needed, because all I wanted to know was about ammonia. Was I going to get a massive ammonia spike? If I got a massive ammonia spike that was a worry, I wouldn't have taken it any further. But the ammonia spike I got wasn't a massive worry, so I just put one in the rainbow tank. And like I say, it's just seeing now how the Lotus does on it, really. I know how the Lotus performs on a Tropica root tab, so yeah, it should be interesting. And up to now, it's doing okay, but we'll see. Yeah, well, my all my soil's capped, mate. I put about 2 inches of gravel over it. Believe it or not, though, this tank was like, gravel's supposed to be like that on that tank, but it just levels out, doesn't it? It levels out over time. So, but yeah, I bag my soil as well, buddy. It is Tropica roots. It's Tropica soil, mate. Yeah, I use Tropica soil, fluval stratum, and I kind of put it in filter media bags with the zips. So you pour it in there. It's a plastic zip, fully plastic bag, plastic zips. And I put soil in them, dab it about the tank, and then I cover it over. And it just helps if you remove a plant, then it doesn't pull the soil up. I know you can get rid of the soil with a magnet, can't you? You can use a magnet to get rid of the soil, but you've got time to do all that. Not me. I like Tropica soil, Will, as well. I like Tropica soil, it's good. I'm a bit of a believer of using the better quality soils just to give your plants that start more than anything that they need. It's a great idea, mate. You can get them pretty cheap on Amazon. You can buy like a bag of 20 of them or something like that. It just works. It's like I say, the difference is on the rainbow fish tank, you can see bits of soil where I didn't bag it, and on the difference is on the angel fish tank, there's no soil. No soil. It just works. It's just good. And also good if you put in like big pieces of rock in as well, because it's sit on the bag rather than, it just gives that cushion for the glass as well. So it's all good. I will send you some, mate, if you want to give them a try. Like I say, they're not fully tested yet, but as you can see now, guys, the lights are proper almost gone. So they do the sunset on the fluval lights is great. You can set. I had a bit of a play about and got it how I like it, but every tank's different. Like, I'll just show you. Just bear with us one sec, because the rainbow tank now is almost all blue, as you can see. So that's almost all blue. Might look a bit different on the phone anyway. The shrimp tank's kind of blue, but although the rainbow tank looks blue-ish, it's kind of not. it's just nowhere near as blue as a rainbow tank. Yet all the light settings are all the same on the tanks throughout, which was a mission, because if anyone's ever set up the fluval lights on the app, you set it to like 30%. As you take it off, it'll go to 32. Oh God, so setting it up for like 6 sets of lights. If I wasn't bald beforehand. I think I would have been by tearing my bloody hair out and getting it all right. It was a nightmare. Comment God, thanks for joining us, buddy. I'm in the UK, mate. It's currently closing up to 10 p.m. I'm going to be calling it a day pretty soon anyway, mate, because the light's dying on us and I'm pretty tired. I've got to be up early tomorrow. I've got to have my car in at the garage for like 6:30 before I go to work. MOT day. To be honest, comment, I would. I just don't have anywhere where I can put them after I've done it. I'm kind of, I set up a tank for growing out fry and for that kind of thing. And I put shrimp in it. Now it's a shrimp tank. I'm a bit of a nightmare, mate. So when I bought my 240 litre tank, I went to the shop to get a smaller tank to put fry in, and came out with a 300 litre tank, a bigger tank than what I already had. Then I went to buy a smaller tank and bought a 60 litre tank. And then I went out and bought a smaller tank and actually bought a small tank for fry and put shrimp in it. Kind of what I do, mate. Thanks, Ian. Hope you've had a good evening. I know you're sitting on us every time. Cheers, Shari. Hope to see you soon, mate. Now I know your name as well. Hope I am back Friday, mate, and I'm back on Saturday as well. I love seeing them breed, comment, God, I do. I just don't have the capacity to keep them. But things do survive, though, like the crebensis survive. Endler guppies survive in the rainbow tank because they're so heavily planted. So I do get babies surviving. I'd like to get Plex babies, to be honest. My Starlight Plex are male and female, and they have bred once, but they weren't successful. But I would like to get Plex babies. Cheers, Will. I am going to call it a day, guys. Thanks for everyone that's joined here today. And if you're not a subscriber, if you could just dink that subscribe button. I have got loads of videos on my channel teaching you all about everything about rainbow fish. If you look at rainbow fish and treat it as a community video, there's also quite a lot of information there for the community tanks. There's all kinds of info on my channel, guys. Please give it a watch. And we are back Friday, around about 8 o'clock. And I'll try and hopefully get a bit of better lighting in here so we can go a bit later on Friday. Might even have a couple of beers. Who knows? It's Friday, isn't it? But thanks for everyone that's joined us tonight. So it's a bit of a touch and go one tonight because it's the first time at this time, and it's kept quite a good constant flow of people in. So that's really good. See you Friday, guys. Thanks a lot, and enjoy your next few days. Keep safe. Bye now.